Great time was had, man. Anybody that made it out there knows what you're talking about. And zero bad things happen, no complaints, no anything. What an awesome way for the cannabis community to come out and show out. And hopefully we'll see many, many more of those. Today, coming to you from the High at Nine News podcast, where we stay elevated on the latest in cannabis news. We're going to cast our eyes on Ohio, a state poised at a pivotal moment in American cannabis reform narrative. Because in Ohio, winds of change could be blowing a fresh scent of cannabis reform across the nation. You've probably heard the saying, as Ohio goes, so goes the nation, reflecting the state's historical status as a political bellwether. This November, Ohio isn't just a gauge for political tides, but also a crucial indicator for the future of cannabis legalization in the United States. On November 7th, 2023, Ohioans will cast their votes on Issue 2, a measure that, if passed, would catapult Ohio into history as the 24th state to legalize adult use cannabis. What's more, a yes on Issue 2 would tip the scales to where now more than half of the U.S. population, precisely 52.7%, would reside in states where cannabis is legal, up from 49.2%. Now, reflecting on the past, Ohio's initial foray into legalizing adult use cannabis was November 2015. It saw a resounding defeat, with nearly 2/3 of voters rejecting the measure. Major newspapers like the Cleveland Plain Dealer and the Cincinnati Enquirer lambasted the proposal for offering licensing rights to a small cohort of investors, which included high-profile names like Ben Kovler of Green Thumb Industries, the famed boy band singer Nick Lachey, and basketball legend Oscar Robertson. Whew. However, the tides have changed since then. In 2023, Ohio approaches the ballot with a promising wave of favorable polling and the foundation of an established medical cannabis market that's currently experiencing an oversupply. If Issue 2 receives a green light from the voters, Ohio will be the 15th state to enact adult use legalization through the ballot box, with the remaining 9 achieving this through legislative action. Ohio's decision is particularly noteworthy as it would mark the first time that a purple state, often a mix of both Republican and Democratic support in recent presidential elections, has voted affirmatively for adult use cannabis legalization. Despite leaning red in recent times, Ohio could break the mold that has seen other traditional red states like Alaska, Arizona, Montana, and Missouri successfully pass similar measures, while others like Arkansas, South Dakota, and North Dakota fell short. It's fascinating to note that Ohio was among the pioneers in cannabis decriminalization, having taken that step in 1975, trailing only behind Oregon. Yet, in the spirit towards comprehensive adult use reform, Ohio has lagged, and the question lingers, will this change this coming Tuesday? For those with a keen interest in the economic and legislative nuances of cannabis legalization, I encourage you to delve into the original article where I got this information from. It dives deep into the 23 other states and how the intricate ways that they tax cannabis. Ohio's Issue 2, if approved, comes with a proposed 10% excise tax rate at retail, which, according to projections from the Ohio State University's Drug Enforcement and Policy Center, could generate a hefty $276 million to $403 million in annual tax revenue by the 5th year of operations. So, as November 7th approaches, all eyes are on Ohio, not just for its political leanings, but for its potential to be a turning point in the national narrative of cannabis reform. Stay tuned, stay high-minded, and we'll continue to follow this developing story. I'm Stone Slade for the High at 9 News.
Stone, I think we can all agree that all the taxes in cannabis in every single marketplace are way, way, way too high.
Way too high.
Way too high. Regardless of what kind of form of legalization you have in your state, or just medical, or absolutely nothing, just maybe possibly THCA flower or nothing like that. I'm surprised that didn't get thrown into your story too, Dr. Mark. But nonetheless, I guess we're going to cover some THCA on another day. Any
So is Ohio going to pass this thing on November? What do you guys think?
It's actually on Tuesday, Dr. T. They vote on this. November 7th.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
On Tuesday they vote for this. So
you do.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What do I
know? Well, if you read the article, maybe a lot, huh? I'm surprised it didn't sound like the environment was favorable for it, but maybe it's changing.
I mean, I'm not sure. I'm going to remain hopefully optimistic with this. But we will see. And at the same time too, I mean, the first time we went for legalization in cannabis, that didn't pass. So I'm not, I think it'll be no matter what happens, I'm sure that there'll be a strong turnout to where there will be enough data collected to where they can mobilize even harder the next time if unsuccessful this time. So
Right, and they've got two big things going for them: is the successful medical market that's now in place that wasn't in place in 2015 when they got knocked down,
yep,
and they got rid of the potential, under the table play. So
yep.
we'll see what happens. I'm optimistic.
All right, all right. Well,
Well, and they've taken multi-state brands in there. I know Juana's in Ohio, and people love gummies. And yeah, I think the success of their medical program has won a lot of people over from the earlier days when they were, oh, well, what about the children?
yep.
You know?
That part is true. That part is very true on the overall public perception of cannabis in Ohio.